All right, good morning, everybody. We are currently moving Beep to Flats Lagoon. We are getting ready to build our cult base today. The plan today is pretty straightforward. We just want to get our home, at least in design, put together and start getting the pieces put in place. Once we get everybody moved to Flats Lagoon safely, we'll be able to kind of stage there, and then Kat will take the thralls and get the place built, along with some of the Garu. We did load up Beep with some materials so we could at least bring them with us, as well as our toughness training armor that we purchased slash stole. I think we stole this stuff. And I don't know what we're going to use Beep for. He's kind of just a wild card. You know, you don't really go to Mongrel without grabbing Beep. And my tallest would always want to have Beep in the party once she meets him. I'm gonna purchase some food, get that stuff put away. Trade a lot of this stuff over to our Garu. And then we just gotta send Cat back for one more person. Once we have Gurgle over here, everybody will be safe and sound in our new staging location, and we will get the materials we need and finish pushing over there. The main plan is just to make sure we have enough materials to get started, and we'll take more of our disposable or expendable people to get that done. And the reason we're doing this one at a time is Cat's able to pick people up and move them that way without really risking getting injured or seen. Oh, it was the hemp. That's what we were going to make sure we had enough of. I almost forgot. Because we got fabrics. And then we've got electricals, iron plates. And now we've got some hemp. I hate when Cat goes through the dang swamp. Alright, time to pick up Gurgle and be on our way. Is there anything else I would want to bring? Suppose I could grab the rest of the hemp. See how much food we can carry without being weighed down too much. That's what I'd call too much. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, let's try it this way. There we go. And we're just going to take the non-swamp route again. And then the plan is to set up shop like right over here. Use the water here to protect ourselves. I'll check the other side here just because it has a bigger water feature, but we're probably building over here. It really depends on how much room we have. But the plan is to have Kat go over there by herself, nice and safe, get a rough plan put together, and then we will be sending everyone over there to get started. I don't know what good having two Garu is going to do for us with only one person that can carry them, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Cat's not too far away now. Cat should be visible before too long, I was gonna say. Put Gurgle down. Drop off all of that food. The primary thing is going to be getting the iron. We need just enough building materials to build the mine for building materials, and that's about it. Everything else is iron plates. We're going to have to start with building an iron mine and then building. Oh boy, I really don't want our guys wasting their toughness on this stuff. Everybody's on passive and block. Stay inside. Alright, now we're going to have Cat go check this place out and look at getting everything set up. So this is going to be the fun part, actually sorting out how we're going to get this place built up. If we need quick money, we also can loot that place as well. Just grab some mercenaries to help us. So there's tons of iron here. I thought there was copper as well, yeah. What's considered the copper resource? Oh, we got found out by the land bats because I'm not paying attention. So getting started might be interesting without some people to protect us. But it does look like all along the coast there are a ton of resources. So there's iron there. We could build our inlet here and our gate. Looks like up there is the copper resource. Now the only thing that stinks is there's not a ton of places to build over here. So like if we try to put buildings up, it looks like we can mostly do it, but who knows how well it'll work. I want to do hydroponics, so I'm going to be using L houses a lot. What is that over there? Is that just like a mirage from having my view distance so high? Yeah, it's like a destroyed town. But I can't repair these places or buy them. Interesting. But this was the body of water I'm looking at building on. It does look like there's going to be a ton of land bats, which could provide a lot of food on the upside. Having a bunch of animals popping in isn't a bad thing. This has more flat area over here, but there's not a ton of copper. It's all like way back there, so we'd have to stretch our walls out around this BS. So like if I went to build walls, yeah, see when they're down low like that, they don't ever seem to work very well. Take them up like that. And this isn't, anything finished for sure, but just gives me an idea. And then that's going to be our gate. So we would have a huge firing line for our gate, which is great. We can spread people out. Have the gate right there in the middle. We could even keep extending over that way quite a bit. Take over that area too. So, but see, here's the other problem. Show me the roads. Yeah. So there's a road that would go right through what we're trying to build. Like right through. So that's kind of bad. You never want to build on a road. It screws everything up. We might have the same problem over there, though. So here, we've got a ton of resources, a water feature, and we don't have the road problem. But we've got that quote-unquote free settlement so close we probably can't build. Yep. Anything back that far just gets annihilated. Oh. So this may not be the golden location I thought it was going to be, sadly. The water's acid? Oh, that's even worse. I didn't realize the water was acidic. I don't like having to swim through acid to come home. We'll have to see about that. So where is the copper? The copper is there. Oh, why would you go through the acid? And then roads. Again, the roads are a huge problem. They go right through where we'd have to put our walls. So I had scouted this out like it was going to be some amazing place to stay, but this may not work at all. What if we were to go back into the rocks more? So we couldn't have our gate on the water line. About further south. The question is, like, where is the road? Is it right here? So everything forward of this is okay, but we've got another friggin' lab. A giant boat in the way. Our copper is right by the road. That big jut right there gives us some area, but it's not a huge place for a base. It looks like all of these watery areas have a ton of stuff by them as far as roads, and that's going to be an issue. Sure, there's tons of materials out here, but I want it all inside my gate. I don't. At least there's no settlement up here. Can we get resources up here? This is a big water feature that we could use to make a gate. Copper. Okay, we've got a couple good copper sources. Really good copper. Iron spectacular. The road is pretty far over. What? What just happened? She was literally fine and now she's dead. See, this is one of the times where I'm talking about, like, that just doesn't. There's nothing here. She wasn't being attacked. We're supposedly sitting in the build menu. That we're gonna reload. She's literally got nothing hitting her. I have no idea what the heck that was supposed to be that was killing her. Like, I could take it if she got attacked and I missed it, but I'm literally staring at her. Her health is fine, and then it drops to 0 and she's dead. It just makes no sense. I don't know what the hell that was supposed to be. So then it's kind of just a question of where do we put the gate? Because I'm betting this is all acid too, right? Yep. So I don't like the idea of swimming through acid to come home, but it's not the end of the world. It will mean getting raided will be almost impossible for our enemies, which is nice. The resources we want are all right here. We can build our wall as far as, like, here. So that copper is kind of like our line we would keep outside the base. But all of this is fine. And we're going to be using this water feature as our gate. We could even make it this narrow area, but I like the idea of a big open water feature as the gate. Well, we do want it to come to a narrow point, so we could use this, make this our gate, put the gate right here. The gate will have a very shallow back to it, and then stretch it around. So what would that look like? So we need to remember that is our marker. So we would put, like, walls roughly like that, just to notate that that's where it goes. We want all of that copper inside the walls. We don't want to dip into the water. put our defensive gate here. And the way I like to do this is try and get the wall for the defensive gate as straight as possible. Okay. Then from here we can make some pretty straight on. Well, we want them to have to run through the water. That's the catch, I guess, huh? Why can't I dismantle that? Oh, and see, that already belongs to someone else. We're already encroaching on that going to someone else. Okay. So we'd have to build our gate over here somewhat just to avoid that nonsense. And that wireframe's going to be messed up if I don't just reload this. I kind of hate this location all of a sudden. I thought it would be super cool, and now it's looking super lame. There's just too much nonsense going on with building here. I'm kind of thinking of relocating. Which would stink, because then there's no point in me streaming today. I was supposed to get everything built. But let's go take a look. We're not out of the race yet here. All we really confirmed is that we want to stay more over this way, and we're going to have to be less picky about how our gate is and how narrow that entrance is. Although this does look pretty shallow, let's see what it looks like if we build a defensive gate like right here. So let's save. And in case, that's just in case the wireframes get caught up going to that farm again. I hate having them just sitting there the rest of the game. I haven't figured out how to get rid of them. So that's kind of the deal there. Let's see how we build. So if we build this, I just want it to be straight. It's so hard to tell with the angle here if it's straight or not. Because if you look at this, it just doesn't look right. No, see how it sinks down into the water? That's the problem that we don't want, because that means, yeah. I really wish they had taller walls where you could make better use of this. So maybe it's just cutting off over here. Well, we know we can't go over there. That's the problem, is we can't go over there. Okay, we'll take that off. What about using this area as a gate? It still dips pretty low. Because what we want is we want our walls up high. This has to push into the water at least a little bit to make sure they're swimming through acid water the whole time. And then the road, we remember. Okay, why can't the game stay paused? It's so frustrating. This could be a good spot. And it's right over the gate. That literally won't work. Or right over the road. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we know. Roads. Yeah, it's that one. So we can put the gate here. Yeah, this is looking more and more like the worst place to build ever. There's so many good resources and it's somewhat defensible, but it's going to get convoluted to not be considered part of the drug farm. That would have been the perfect spot to put the gate if it wasn't like that. And it keeps unpausing my game, trying to get me killed. So that would create one side of it. Let's confirm that and then check the road again. Okay, the road's like behind this one. So let's just put, okay. We know that can't be included. We've got plenty of iron and copper with just this stuff. The only thing I'm worried about being super straight is the stuff that includes our front gate. The rest I just want to avoid wasting materials. So this would give us a great defensive gate, plenty of resources, and a little bit of area to build. We're not going to have a ton of room doing it this way. I think we're cutting ourselves way short. Because the road's like way over there and then curves off. So we actually have quite a lot of room we're leaving on the table. So we could include all of this. I even could include a lot of that too. All of this open area, that's the slot that I'm leaving open. Why can't I take that? What is that considered a part of? Nope, I'm already screwed. I don't understand why this area is so bad. Because basically that's not going to be considered part of my wall, probably because of that crappy town. Not that I want to build it with a fucking Leviathan in it. Where does it start? It's like everything past there. And it's such a good gate spot, too. Let's try saving and reloading. We may end up moving positions. I know this is definitely a little boring, but I'm just trying to figure out why in the hell this isn't considered part of my base. Because we won't be able to build turrets on it if it's not part of the base, which I guess isn't too bad. But it also causes problems where people can just walk through it. Like, even this stuff isn't considered part of my base. And you know it's not because you can't destroy it. Nope. Yep, this is where it becomes free settlement. Damn it. So this is looking like it's not going to be a viable place to build at all, which really stinks. This is the kind of place where you're just not going to get invaded like crazy. You're close to Flats Lagoon. And I could look at trying. Let's see. It's really just getting that second copper resource in that didn't work. Because we built over here. We used that water feature. We're going to have to look for a different location. There's just too much nonsense going on. Everything gets pulled into those other areas. The worst part is there's so many good resources too. Like these copper and iron nodes are fantastic. It's just, can you get them without being on a road? We honestly don't need a ton of copper. That is something to keep in mind. This road is pretty far away. We just couldn't have that iron resource in here. That's maybe one of the biggest issues I'm seeing out here. And there's like no copper. So we wouldn't be able to do anything with copper, which means we can't make crossbows. We can't expand our electrical very easy. We are close to Morn, though. What cities? Okay, we're pretty far from everything that there could be. Maybe this will work for us. Maybe, just maybe. So the road would let us include that one. And we've got this crazy water feature for a gate. Yeah, as long as I just barely loop around that, I should be good. No, oh man, come on. That's not frustrating at all. Alright, we dodged the road. We've got a sick gate. We can put a ramp attaching to at least each section of the defensive area so far. Ooh, except for over here. Might have to rethink the left side, but that's okay. I thought we might have to adjust this a little bit, and it's not really a bad thing. And now we can build ramps, hopefully. Can I build shorter ramps? No. Well, we may still have to fiddle with the wall, but as long as we can run across it, I'm not that worried about it. But I think we've actually got a base location picked out. I think people are going to come off of that road over here and then tuck around and around. And we should have a nice clear shot at anybody trying to get in. We don't have a good copper node, which does stink. But it's not the end of the world. We can import copper as needed. We've got 1, 2, 3 iron nodes, 4, 4 iron nodes, tons of animals that we can possibly hunt if we need to. We've got hydroponics to do our plants. We should be good, and we're close enough to Morn to just get the electrical components we need and the rare piece of copper. I think we should be all right. Let's see here. Now, I was able to get stone in the other area. Yeah, this is what I was a little worried about. Yikes. Stone is going to be kind of garbage out here. But not horrendous. There's like 50%. It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Why is this only 50%? Is the iron kind of low quality, maybe? And then, yeah, I bet there's like 0 copper here. Like nothing. But that's okay. We also could extend that way a little bit if we need to, it looks like. Which way is that? Oh, yeah, that's not towards anything. So we could take the rest of that peninsula as well. Have another iron source. Of course, I didn't confirm the stone mine. Ooh, there we go. There's some sick iron right there. Okay, so we will want to expand that wall a little bit for sure. Cat, you good? Why is there so much lag? Well, we don't want to break the solid path through the water. We do want to make them go through that water. We don't need to take every last inch. Oh, I've already got one there, that's why. Okay. So we've got stone mines, we got the iron mines. We're gonna need power. Is there, can I tell how much wind there is? 9.45. Okay. I don't know if that's considered good wind or bad wind. Stone processor. Because the main thing we're going to need are walls, and walls are going to be all about building materials. So I may have had this backwards. Because we're going to want our walls up as soon as possible. We basically just need a ton of materials is what it comes down to. Buildings, we'll do L house. We do have a lot of spare room, which is good. That'll work out nicely for us. This might honestly be just way more room than we need. It might be monstrously more room than we need, but we'll see how we do. We are going to be able to just abandon it really easy if we have to until we can get it taken back. I think I'm going to want storage for building materials up by the front gate. Storage for iron plates. And then electricals. And we need the better wind generator theory before we get going. So we'll need the better wind generators because they actually take electrical components. And we need some mercenaries to protect our booty while we're out here. But we've got our location, we've got the main design up. It's just going to be getting it together without dying. We want Advanced Wind Generator Theory. 2 ancient science books. We might already have that. We do. Okay. So we need to take her. Need to take that. A little bit of food. Do a little research. How's everybody doing on food? Good. No gang wars broken out, which is kind of a bummer. There'd be lots of free loot. So getting the walls up is going to require mostly building materials, and we're gonna need. What does it take to make a building material refinery? Only 30? Okay. So we need to focus on power and enough building materials. Okay. Iron refinery, I need 22. Oh, but the ore mine only requires building materials, so 22, 52 iron plates and we're set. And then we just need power. So it's 60, 72, 77. And then the question is, how much is required? How much is really required to get the power up? I would say it's somewhere around 8. Yeah. So if it was 8, they all output 50. We'd probably want 10 of them. So that's another 40. So we want about 120 iron plates, give or take, and that'll get us roughly what we want. So we need like 50 more. We can grab that while we're at Squin. Oh, crap. Now we're in trouble. I didn't take into account that we're running during the day and there would be beak things. It's not that bad since there aren't that many, but it's not great. Come on, can't you guys just piss off? Because one hit, and then all of a sudden our whole story's over. Should have just bought a building in Morn and researched it there. Ran in the middle of the night. Just don't want to spend a ton of time doing nothing, you know? I want to get stuff done. Obviously, the safest way would be to wait till nightfall, but it's just boring. As I run past all of these really great places to build and get resources, and they have lots of water features for defense that aren't acid. But everybody's built in Shim, and you still get a lot of visitors in Shim. We'll hide in here. Get the heck out of Beak Thing territory. It's quite the process getting a base set up in the first place, but it is what it is. We've got lots of money to hire a lot of mercenaries at least. When we actually make our way back, we'll start down at this way station, hire mercenaries, and then hop by this way station and hire mercenaries. Maybe even hit Ishijuku too. Just get all the mercenaries we can. But it was very clutch having Cat be strong enough to move people back and forth relatively safely, even in stealth. Otherwise, we'd have been toast. We'd have never been able to do this. We'd have had to move only at night with an escort. It would have been terrible. Let's make sure we don't run into a shop or something dumb like that and get ourselves in trouble. That's basically what about just happened. Just want to make sure we have enough stuff in general, you know. We're not going to be able to find a ton of mercenaries anyway. Leave her. Her jobs can go on. Put her down. That should give us what we need. We just want to make sure that our power only requires electrical components and not actual copper. Yep, there it is. And it even outputs double, so I need more iron plates than I thought, but I just scooped up 36. I just scooped up like 70 some odd more, so we should be good. So it's time to get started building, man. We're getting there. Now, it might be a mistake to try and build such a ginormous base instead of expanding it as I go, but I really needed to make sure it would all fit without bumping into another town. You saw how quickly things get out of hand where you're just barely too close to another town and it just decides it belongs to someone else. I think we already used up the mercenaries from here. Nope, there we go. Tech hunters, 8 days. And they'll make their way there on their own, and we'll head to Ishijuku and see if we can get some there. Are Are there any in the bars here? There should be. I just haven't seen any. There we go. And then there's regular mercs in here too. $8 should be plenty to get everything built. And if not, we'll sort it out. They also don't tend to actually go away when you hire them to guard your outpost. They tend to just kind of hang out and wander around. So maybe that'll be the case here. No, there's nobody here. Bummer, dude. Alright, looks like that's it. I'm feeling kind of silly for not just setting up in shim, I'll be honest, but hopefully this will be a relatively unique place to build. We'll get some very interesting things going on. It's certainly very defensible, and iron is the most important resource when you're using hydroponics. And we're obviously going to have water. I should have checked, but we're definitely going to have water. What is our... Probably want 10 of these, so 80 electricals would be good. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to swap out our thieves backpack, I think. Well, that won't work out very well. Let's move the electricals over to Velma, just so we can rearrange this a little bit. That should get us started. Pick up Daphne, and we'll just move Cat and Daphne down to thralls to keep it simple. And we're just making a break for it over to here. It looks like a lot of our bodyguards are either matching time with us or a little bit ahead, which is great. We have to make sure everybody's jobs are off so they don't start building random stuff. At least till we get the stuff we know we have to have built. Cat. We know we need this built. And then all the rest of the iron plates are going to go into lighting or power. Ah, geez, come on. Just in case we get hosed again, we'll save. But if anything happens like just regular combat, we're going to just deal with that. So these two we want on hold, passive, block. Everybody else we want on taunt. And bodyguarding cat for now. What? Oh boy. They're all set to engineer. We'll have to turn that off. My goodness. This is why I had their jobs off. This is why I shouldn't have set them to bodyguard. See, bodyguard is going to happen even if their jobs are off. But because I forgot just putting that job on them was going to reactivate that, it caused some problems. But that's okay. It's always a short trip to our staging city. It's not that big of a deal. The other option I have, actually, I can't have Daphne pick it up. Let's do this. We'll build one iron plate storage. Throw all this back on Daphne. Having it on the ground is the problem. If I just trade her and don't get lazy, this won't be an issue. It's the throwing them on the ground that was creating the problem. Because they won't loot them out of her inventory. So now I can turn everyone's jobs on and to engineer. And move it up above. Honestly, the bodyguard thing was just a mistake. I think that it's going to be relatively safe out here. We'll just cut that crap out. So this does give you some definite insight into just how rough building a base can be. Especially if you want to build it in any kind of order. Okay, so we have the processor. Now we need to build, we'll turn her jobs off and trade with Daphne. Build that sucker up. Okay. I know all of my ore is going to be over there. Next is to get power going, and the question is, where do we want it? I think we put power in the middle of all these crappy trees, and we can build our housing areas in the more open areas that suck less. Now, is there anything else besides these storage things that requires iron? I don't think there is. Those are all building materials, so I can grab all of the electricals and iron, and we should be good to go. Okay, we didn't have anywhere near the electricals we needed. Oh boy. So we're gonna turn her jobs off. Run these over to the iron plates container. Ooh. 'Cause 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 'c and then head back for our other Garu. Velma has all sorts of random stuff on her that we don't need. At least not yet. Beep just has a bunch of empty backpack stuff. Okay. Velma's got some iron plates, but not enough. Who had all the iron plates? Wow. Okay, so we're gonna take Velma, have Cat pick her up. We're gonna have to head to Morn, try and score some iron plates. I thought we had enough iron plates and electricals to get that going, but that was not the case. Dang. But we'll get a nice haul with Cat and take it over there. We'll make sure the power is what gets built with it. They actually didn't have that many to buy, which is a bummer. Only a few electricals. Well, darn. It is what it is, I guess. We're also gonna need to get a bunch of iron plates to get the iron refinery going. Luckily, we don't have any nonsense coming our way just yet. Okay, it looks like we were able to get one wind turbine going, which is nice. Oh, it looks like we were mostly short electrical components. That's cool. I really would prefer you guys didn't focus on the building materials stuff, but okay. We'll turn her jobs off. Are any of these? Oh, they were almost exclusively missing electricals, which is interesting. There's only a handful of them that didn't have enough iron plates. Okay, now we're gonna have power for our base. That's important. And then as soon as we get walls up, they can start building on these, which they may do before that, but I'm okay with them focusing on the walls now. We are going to need batteries out here. It looks like the wind's a little inconsistent. It does look like it's really paying off how we made sure we had full wall sections. It actually uses way less material to fill those in. I wonder how bad the wind gets overall, though. if we're going to need batteries pretty consistently, or if I should have built small wind generators, not large ones. Either way, we're definitely going to want a storm house of batteries. Yeah, it looks like during the day we've got great wind. It's just going to be a matter of building up a bunch of batteries. So we need are more iron plates and some more electricals. We probably have to go to Katoon to get a meaningful amount of them. So we're just going to have to be careful. Since we're already here, may as well see what we can get. Wow, bum frick nothing. Alright, thanks for nothing. It's crazy to think that there's such a giant bony area here. Like, what the hell could possibly be that big to have bones like that? Or are these just look like bones and it's really metal structures that have crumbled and decayed and fallen together? Who knows? Probably breaking the bank here, but we are going to need all of this stuff, that's for sure. Of course, there's beak things just casually finding us. Leave me alone, you stupid beakers. Jeez. What the hell? I got screwed by a hill. I hate beak things. They're probably one of my least favorite creatures in this whole damn game. Needless to say, I don't plan on doing that again anytime soon. The hope here is that there's no political factions coming here. It'll all just be bandits that are kind of disorganized and won't create an issue to where we have even more people that hate our guts. We made it back before they got the back walls up, which will let us in easily at least. Nice, this building got built. Because this is going to be crucial to keeping things running. Everything else from here is building materials until we get the iron ore. Oh, we need the refinery. Before I build that, we need a refinery. We need at least one. Okay, we're going to turn her jobs off. I don't feel like her getting melted. We'll have them build the iron refinery first. Because then we'll be able to get iron and iron plates, and we'll be doing just fine. Okay, we have the iron refinery. Now we just need to build batteries. And then really the next big thing after batteries is just going to be, well, we still got these guys working. This thing's still got power. We're gonna need a way to make food. I think food's the first thing we want to work on, that we'll have our actual cultists working on. Maybe we'll have Cat doing food. It's hard to say. We're gonna need more recruits, but we also need more cash. We might have to make a quick money grab with Cat. And the idea with doing the battery banks just a few at a time, like, well, not necessarily a few, but the way we did it is so that we don't try and build a whole bunch of these and build them half-ass and halfway, and then we've got no actual batteries ready to go. I'd rather have some fully built batteries than a bunch of half-built batteries. Okay, so this does require workers. So we're going to take pretty much everyone off of that. And then we're just going to put one guy on it. Cat, pick up Daphne, or pick up Velma, put them in here. Looks like there's just a ton of wolves that we gotta let get dealt with. Alright. Turn them off hold, turn their jobs on. We are going to get some storage for skins and meat. And I want those built. So turn your jobs off. Take you off engineer. Build those. I'm going to have you on foraging animals. Just to make sure they die. Now we have a way to get some cash too. And we'll put a food storage there. Why aren't these guys engineering? We're going to save and reload. See if that'll get them to finish building the rest of the walls. Okay, so we're gonna try save and reload one more time. If that doesn't work, I don't know. I guess we'll just build it and hope for the best, but I bet that this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna have to redo the whole dang town. Wait, redoing the nav mesh. Nope, yeah, ruin. What the hell? No. It's funny, it's considered part of nowhere, but I can dismantle it. But not that one. I really don't know what I'm gonna do with this base. I wish the nav mesh had told me that there was gonna be so many problems. But now we're gonna have these ugly ass wireframes. can't even delete these. That's infuriating. Okay, I can delete them that way. See, this is all within the area of my town, though. I don't know why it's causing such a fuss. And now everybody's getting attacked while I'm sitting here trying to fix everything. There are no characters in the way. What? Oh my god. So what? Because I've got these dorks here, I can't just build a wall? Okay, so it looks like it might be because I built this with too much nonsense going on, building too much at once. We might be able to get this fixed. We might have to expand a little bit at a time, but might be able to get this fixed. Add a squad for animals. Alright, they're building the walls. Once we get the walls finished, this is going to be way less of a poop show. Alright, all of these walls seem to actually fall under our outpost, which is great. We're doing it. Alright, fantastic. So, I think what I've learned is you can't build that much construction all at once. You need to build a couple buildings or something to kind of lay out where you're going to be taking up space, or just be ready to redo it. Some of this stuff is just me being dumb, I guess. I don't know. I've never had it be that bad, but now that I know, I'll just build in smaller pieces and extend it as I go. We'll put Cat back to work making sure those animals are dead. We've got plenty of food for now, too. That's what's another thing that's great. Having most of our workers be robots isn't hurting. We're not too far from having fully encircled walls, and that's going to make all the difference with these dang animals. How many iron plates do we have? Plenty. We'll have them operate this stone processor and maybe we can catch up. Oh yeah, this only takes one worker. Maybe I need to delete these as well. Who knows? They're not building them, so can't hurt to try. I don't know if we're going to get that 90% sweet spot. Ooh, there we go. See if we can get just that built. That's all I want. Just want to get that built. So planning out the base all at once was a huge problem. That seems to be the biggest issue here. Now we'll set up torch posts to increase our efficiency here. And we will have Cat help with the engineering. At least I wanted to. There we go. What in the world is that? Game, why are you the way you are? Where did that come from? What in the hell is that? Oh boy. Well, we got lights for these guys, which is nice. We got our 2 people that are still on engineering. Still got guards. Alright, let's get them turrets up before we run out of people to defend us. Mounted crossbow 2. Do we want a light? That's -4 power. Yeah, we can do that. I think those are going to be the most important spots for now. And then come to think of it, we're going to want to get some more thralls. And we're going to want to get some more regular recruits eventually. But we built out a pretty big mega base already. You know, we've got lots of room. It's not quite as crazy as the Holy Nation one, but it could have been. I think I could probably include more if I tried. Nav mesh, turn the roads off. There we go. Oh, those do require electrical components. That is something to think about. It's what, 1 apiece? That's not an issue, I don't think. So in the end, enough fiddling, deconstructing, reconstructing. It looks like that's probably all we had to do. I might be able to extend the base out further, but I'm not too worried about that. We've got more than enough electrical components, and we're going to have enough iron plates. Yeah, we already do, even without crafting any. And I don't think we're going to get a lot of random visits out here. If we do, it'll be like full-on bandit raids that we can man the turrets for as needed. Oh, what is going on? No, I've got a little mystery wireframe here. Oh my god, no. No, I borked it. When's the last autosave? Oh my god. What is that, and why can't I get it to go away? So this is after the torches were put in. Why can't I get rid of this? It's just a little graphical error? Like, come on. I really don't understand what's with the graphical errors here, but we'll just have to accept it, I guess. I hate shit like that, where you build this nice base, you put a ton of effort into it, and there's just a random wireframe fucking it up. No, that's not what I meant to do. Well, I'm probably going to close up the stream, fiddle with this some more, and hopefully we'll end up with functional walls without graphic glitches, but if nothing else, we'll at least have functional walls, right? That's good enough, right? But yeah, we got our base together. If you click out here, are we really able to just run through? We're literally able to just walk out. Why? Guys, video game, fix stuff, nav mesh, regenerate, exit, save. We're going to try loading. And my goodness, if I can still walk through these walls, I might lose my whole mind. What the? Why? Is it just right there? It's just this area? And now I'll never be able to build it because there's going to be these assholes in the way the whole time. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I'll finish up these walls and we'll see if we can get this going, and then I'll see y'all